that is what the City of London looked like by the end of the war. Enormous swathes, whole swathes of what is now the Barbican and the area around Cheapside and so on, completely destroyed, which helps to explain why every building in the City of London virtually is modern. What about Stoke Newington then? Handily, Stoke Newington, on most of it, fits onto a single double-page spread. In fact, mostly the left-hand page there. You can see running north-south, you can see the A10, bottom right here is Hackney Downs, top left is Clissold Park, and the area running through sort of central Stoke Newington from Brookshire Road down through Albion Road, either side of Albion Road, down to where we are, St Matthias at the bottom, Newington Green, was almost all of it damaged to some extent, in some way, by bomb damage. By bombing. Interestingly, actually, rather worse damage than a lot of Hackney to the east. And it's depressing, really, to see what the bombing did. House after house destroyed. Families, livelihoods, businesses vanished in a moment. These photographs are from Hackney Archive. They were all taken by the wartime borough of Hackney. I couldn't find any similar photographs relating specifically to the wartime borough of Stoke Newington, but I've no reason to suppose that the damage in Stoke Newington was any different. It may well have been worse. Everywhere you looked, there was destruction. It was an enormous civil emergency, and it took a great deal of effort and work to try and rehouse people, to try and clear the bomb damage, and so on and so forth. But in the end, ultimately, the war did end, and in Daubney Road over in Clapton, they were celebrating VE Day in May 1945, and then on obviously rather chillier August Day, they celebrated VJ Day. And the time came to take stock of where the bombs had fallen and to ask what should be done about putting things back together again. So here is that map I showed you, and here, for contrast, is an aerial photograph taken in 1946 of that same area. There's the Clissold House, the churches, this is Albion Road down here, and we are somewhere off to the bottom right. And you can see immediately a number of areas of really quite severe bomb damage. You can also, incidentally, see in Clissold Park, we were talking about allotments, you can see allotments. Everyone in World War II was digging for victory, and in 1946, the allotments were still there. Let's look at some of the areas of blast damage and find out what happened to them. Just to the east of there is an area here at the junction of what had been Hawksley Road and Albion Road. Incidentally, I'd be very interested if anybody knows what this square rectangular compound is in the middle of the bomb site, because it's not there on the 1914 map. It's something that appeared on the ground after the bombing. Let's compare the aerial photograph with the bomb damage map, and you can see several buildings are black, completely destroyed, several are purple, damaged beyond repair, a lot of red, very severely damaged. Inevitably, this was going to have to be rebuilt. That's what it looked like, photograph taken by a man called Sidney Newbury in 1946. And this here is that rectangular area, which seems to have been a tank, a pond of some sort, walled off. I've no idea, I don't understand what it is. If anyone's got any suggestions, do let me know. There's the spire of St Mary's Church in the background. Very, very quickly, they were rebuilding it. The builders were on site in September 1946. And they were building what is today Hawksley Court, that's Carlisle House, Hawksley Court, which was completed by 1949. And if you wanted a masonette there in 1949, you'd have paid 21 shillings rent a week, and if you wanted a 2-bed flat, the rental would have been 15 shillings. Let's have a look at another one. Just south of Hawksley Road is the junction of Lonsborough Road, and I'm going to have to look at the map to remind myself what that street is called, and this, which was a church, St Faith's Church, very badly hit. The circle means that it was a point of impact of a V1 rocket, which did much more damage than conventional bombs. You can see the church there, pretty much obliterated, Nebworth Road it's called, and all of this here very severely damaged. That's what it looked like, another photograph by Sidney Newbury, the church there on the left, and a bomb site. London, I remember in my childhood on visits up here, was full of bomb sites. It took a long time to fill them all, but some of them in Stoke Newington were filled very quickly. That's what's there now. It's called the Lonsborough Estate, Lonsborough House and Nebworth House, and it proudly bears the crest of the wartime Stoke Newington Borough Council, and that was up, I think, by 1953. So within 7 or 8 years of the end of the war, they were rebuilding this. That's Lonsborough House. Just to the west, at the junction of Albion Road and Clissold Crescent, what's now Clissold Crescent, in 1914 it was called Park Road, which is what it says on the map, Park Lane rather. There was another V1, and yeah, you can see on the aerial photograph the damage. You can also see a series of little sort of things that look rather like tiles on the bomb site. Those were prefabs. They were erected all over London and other cities to provide temporary housing. They didn't, for the most part, last long, though I think there are still some in southwest London, somewhere like Egham, if you want to go and have a look. The people who live in them apparently like them very much. But they were only ever a temporary measure in most places. And today, in place of the prefabs, there is one block, Medway House, on the north side of the little triangular green at the junction, and another one, Avon House, I think, on the south side. Those were up in 1955, or thereabouts. Those are sites where there was a lot of damage, V1s, a lot of bombings, a lot of property was destroyed. But of course, here and there, this is a bit of Neville Road near the junction, top end near the junction with Kynaston Road. Sometimes just 1 or 2 houses were destroyed by a bomb. And if you go now to Neville Road, sure enough, where those little black marks are along the line of the property, you can see post-war housing, which has been slotted in among the surviving Victorian terraces. As I said, they were very quick off the mark in rebuilding. The council was on the case very quickly, borrowing money from the government at favourable interest rates, along with lots of other councils, in order to rebuild. This is in Queen Elizabeth Walk. It's called Gordon Lodge. This was completed in 1951 and opened by Miss May Gordon in her fur coat and horn-rimmed spectacles, looking very official. She was the daughter of Stoke Newington's wartime mayor, so the house Gordon Lodge, the building Gordon Lodge, is actually named for him. She came along to do the formal opening. She had been really upstaged though the year before, because in Green Lanes, just up from the pumping station, the council in 1950 had completed Amwell Court, and they got Princess Margaret. I think the kids probably can't believe the cake. Ration is still in place, and there they are, looking forward very much to a rare treat. Now, my assumption when I kind of got the book and started thinking about this was that most of the post-war rebuilding that took place in Stoke Newington would have been in areas where there had been significant bomb damage. And it is true that a lot of it was, but it would be wrong to suppose